Here are the requirements for the inferential stats section of your research report, which will be due May 11th. So this part of your paper is not going to be nearly as long as the first part was, so please do not put this off to the last minute. I need to make sure that I get everything graded, and grades are due by, I think, the 22nd at YSU. So everything that I have listed on this page will go in your report. All of the calculations, because you're also going to do a confidence interval, can be handwritten and just sort of inserted or attached as a picture as the appendix section. So you could just attach that picture into your report on your document. So the hypothesis testing, you're going to restate your general research hypothesis in words. So that's going to be the exact same statement that you had early on in your introduction. So I'd like for everybody to go through the hypothesis test using the p-value method here. Remember, and you don't have to state alpha in your paper, but in your appendix, you're going to choose your alpha before you conduct this test. Now, even if the results come out to be opposite of what you were thinking, that's okay. You don't want to go back and change it. You don't need to be right here. You're just going through this test to see if you are correct with your hypothesis. So what I'm going to be looking for in this part of the paper, again, state your general research hypothesis in words, report the p-value of the test. Again, all you're going to do on the separate page paper that you're going to insert in your appendix will be the calculations for the confidence interval. All you have to state in your paper is that summary in a lot of detail here, the confidence interval estimation and your summary. So put the inequality as well as your summary. Verification of the assumptions behind the statistical inference procedures. So this, everything that I'm going over here was on the handouts that I gave you. All that means is make sure you clearly state that your sample size, again, was greater than 30. Interpret the results. So step 5, and you can put this in any order. You could put the confidence interval first and then go through your hypothesis test and put those results. So not only do I want to see the confidence interval estimation and the summary, also the summary to the hypothesis test. So interpret those results, which pretty much means include step 5 in this part of the report. So step 5 of hypothesis testing, please make sure you're using the correct wording. Any tables or graphs that you've already added to your paper, if you're stating anything in this part of the paper that ties into it, please make sure you go back. So if you had like figure 1 or graph 1, go back and refer to that as you're talking about or analyzing the results. All right, so what's going to go on the separate piece of paper that you could just attach? We're going to call this the appendix section. I know a lot of you had questions the first time around, but the appendix is for the inferential stats. So you want to show all calculations and steps for the confidence interval and the hypothesis test. At the very top, before you start either one, you need to keep alpha the same for both of those. Keep in mind, if you wrote out your hypothesis or stated your hypothesis as an average, you're going to use the t-distribution and use mu there, but a lot of you did a proportion, so make sure that you're using either from section 7.3 or from section 8.4, you're using p and not mu, because you don't have an actual population mean that you're looking at. You have a population or sample proportion that you're going to be looking at. So all of this can be just handwritten, piece of paper, take a picture of it, and just insert it into your report. So this last part of the set of this paper is going to be worth about 20 or 25 points. What I have also included here is just, again, the breakdown of the weights of each category of how you guys were graded throughout the year. So again, tests are 40%. This is also in the syllabus. Graded assignments have been 15%. Every quiz going into the category here is 15%. Your research report does count as 10%. And then the final exam, which you guys have hopefully started to review for, will be 20%. So pretty much, because, and I mentioned this in the directions or the instructions, since you guys will be going through your own hypothesis test here, to me that's telling me that you have looked through chapter 8 well enough, and this is how I will be grading you. So in lieu of a chapter 8 test, mainly because time is a factor here, I want to give you guys not too many assignments all at once to overwhelm you, but just to make sure that you're going through. We have 3 to 4 more sections to get through, 2 from chapter 10 and chapter 11, in addition to reviewing for the final exam. Your final exam, and I'll keep reminding you of this, will look very much like the reviews I'm giving you. So I like to give 2 chapters of review at a time. So please, once you've watched this, let me know if you have any questions as you guys start to work on this part of your report. Again, it will be due May 11th. Please let me know if you have any questions.